on, y'all? This is a Rosay review on Deadpool 3. Just got out of the theater literally like an hour ago. Let's get right into it. Off rip, y'all, for me, Deadpool 3 is a 6 out of 10. And here's why. This was a fun, great buddy movie about Wolverine and Deadpool. And there was a lot of great cameos. But the plot was all over the place, y'all. The plot was all over the place. First off, if you did not see Loki season 1 and 2, this entire movie is going to be confusing to you. So that's already kind of a problem, considering it's a Deadpool movie in the MCU, but doesn't really connect to the MCU, but you have to watch Loki. Anyway. Off rip, the intro scene, I didn't like it. It was corny. It took too long. And then we get this rogue TVA agent when I thought we had already squashed and put the TVA into a good spot at the end of Loki Season 2. So I don't know. I didn't really want the TVA to be the bad guy. I just wanted Loki to be getting pulled into the TVA because he's causing incursions via the cable thing when he used his time thing, which they said off rip isn't why they were coming for him. And that one TVA agent just wanted him to put him in the main sacred timeline. For what reason? He said because the higher up said he was blessed or something. He had a bigger purpose. All right, that sounded kind of cool. And then we totally just went off of that. And we didn't need the Wade Wilson Deadpool universe is dying. We didn't need that. We just needed a storyline about how Deadpool could be a TVA agent and help restore universes, and along the way, he needs a Wolverine to help him, and he finds one. And it didn't need to be a Wolverine connected to his universe or the Fox universe. We just needed a Wolverine, completely disconnected from everything. Them trying to connect him to the Fox universe and the Logan universe got too confusing, and it didn't work for me personally. Because if that's the Fox Wolverine, what happened to his universe that he said all the X-Men died but him, and he let him die? But he's sitting at the bar chilling, just drinking. They needed to explain that more. We needed to get that flashback scene that Deadpool said we were going to get in Act 3. And then they didn't give it to us. So I didn't understand that. Let's talk cameos. Chris Evans cameo as Johnny Storm was beautifully done. Nobody saw it coming. When he went flame on, it was super epic. Daredevil vibes in Spider-Man No Way Home. Yep, it was epic. Nobody saw it coming. Blade was awesome. Channing Tatum as Gambit was funny. I didn't mind it. Elektra was cool. X-23, we didn't need her. She didn't need to be in this. They didn't spend enough time on her character or her reason for it at all. It seemed super unnecessary to throw X-23 in there. Now let's talk about the fighting. The fight scenes were great, but I felt like it was missing like more action. I feel like we only really got a couple scraps from Wolverine and Deadpool, and that was kind of it. The only good fight scene we got was when that team of Blade, Elektra, Gambit, Wolverine, and Deadpool charged the compound and Blade shoot the rocket, and that was a crazy fight scene, and it was really cool to see those characters fighting. But that was really the only good fight scene, because the next fight scene after that is when they have to fight all the Deadpool in the street, which I thought was a bad choice how they did it. It felt so unserious. It felt like a joke. They just washed all those Deadpool, then they came back, and then Peter shows up, and they just go down in the subway tunnel. It just felt like a very small set, and very not serious stakes. And meanwhile, Cassandra Nova is on a multiversal threat right now, talking about destroying the entire universe and it only being the Void. You know what I mean? I want this to feel serious, because even though it's a comedy and Deadpool's funny, the comedic relief wasn't balanced out enough, and he was ruining scenes for me by just trying to talk and be funny the whole time. And then the ending I wanted it to be more of a battle between Cassandra Nova and Deadpool and Wolverine versus her just getting obliterated, spaghettified by them stopping the Time Ripper. Which honestly, them just sitting in a freaking reactor room holding hands doing the Guardians of the Galaxy 1 thing wasn't a good ending. Like that wasn't an intense ending. It wasn't epic. Like we seen that. I felt like I'd already watched that scene. I was just like thinking about Guardians of the Galaxy 1 the whole time watching that. Like I'm sick of that. So I feel like we needed more from Cassandra Nova, who was a great villain. I liked the acting. I liked the character. It was well acted, well written. We needed more screen time from her, and she needed to have more of a motive at what her motive was, because she kept saying she loves the void and wants to be in the void. So there's no motive there. And if you're telling me a sling ring can get you out of the void, how good is the void for real? Sling ring gets you right out. I didn't know sling rings were multiversal. Like I didn't sling ring just like it's not utilized when you think it would get utilized in scenes like Infinity War Endgame, but then in Deadpool and Wolverine, sling ring is the way out the void. That that seemed like a really cheap way to do that. So I would say what would have really brought this movie together for me, because even though this was a fun buddy movie that gave us a lot of good cameos and some fun moments, and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine back, we needed Loki at the end of this. We needed Loki or like Doctor Strange minimum to come in at the end credit scene. I would have taken that, even if it was the end credit scene, to come in at the end credit scene, go up to Wolverine and Deadpool and say, "Hey, you guys think you don't matter. I used to think I didn't matter too, but there's a greater purpose for you in the multiverse." Boom, fade to black. Now it all makes sense. Now everything makes sense. Loki was watching. He's a god of stories. He sees all this crazy bouncing around timelines, multiversal stuff going on. He's got to get involved. And that would have connected it, because this movie doesn't even have a plot line without Loki season 1, Loki season 2. So I just feel like Loki being involved would have made a lot more sense and would have connected it to the greater MCU, and I would have appreciated that. And I think it would have been cool if Cassandra Nova lived. I really liked that character, the acting, and the way she delivered on screen, the actress and the writing of the character. If she lived, that would have been great. Because what I'm trying to see from Marvel moving forward is I need a villain team up. We got the Avengers. We need a villain team up. We need to start seeing good villains like Cassandra Nova, Gore the God Butcher, etc., surviving these things and coming out on top, or like sneaking out and having a backdoor plan and linking up with maybe like a Doctor Doom type. That would be really awesome. So that was a Rosay review. It was long. Most of them won't be that long, but this was Deadpool 3 and there was a lot to unpack. I appreciate anybody that rocked out for over 5 minutes, because let's be honest, that's a long time. But yeah, Deadpool 3 for me, Rosay, is a 6 out of 10. Plot was all over the place, needed more action sequences, and I wouldn't see it in theaters if you're a big Marvel fan, because you're going to be kind of disappointed. At home, with no expectations, watching this like it was Deadpool 2, I would have been thoroughly pleased and satisfied. But some witty one-liners, Hugh Jackman Wolverine, and some cameos isn't enough plot for me to get excited thinking we're about to get Deadpool in the MCU. So, yeah, that's a Rosay review.